Hey, I'm Victoria, author, editor, and the owner of Blue Pen, where we offer editing and book design services. Today's topic is really important, especially for first-time authors. Unfortunately, I've known many authors who have gotten sucked into vanity presses and realized later what a mistake that was for their work. So today, I want to help you understand what vanity presses are and why they are not a legitimate route to publication. The first step to understanding vanity presses is understanding how the industry works. The publishing industry isn't always intuitive, and my opinion is that's one of the things that makes it so easy for first-time authors to fall prey to scams. Because if you're not familiar with the industry, then these models don't seem so odd. But once you understand how things are supposed to work, how they have worked traditionally, then you can start to ID those vanity presses and the scams. So first of all, we have traditional publishing. Now, traditional publication is what most people think of when they think of the publishing industry. It involves publication through either a large publishing house like Penguin Random House, or a small press. Authors can publish traditionally with or without an agent, but in order to submit to those larger houses, you typically need to be an agent. The big houses don't usually accept submissions from unrepresented authors, but authors can submit directly to a lot of small presses. Whether it's a big publishing house or a small press, the model remains the same. With traditional publishing, the author or the agent submits to the publisher, who has no obligation to publish submissions. So obviously they receive many submissions and publish a small percentage. For each book they publish, the publisher handles everything upfront. The author does not pay the publisher upfront. That's very important. The publisher handles the editing, the book design. The publisher also offers support after publication with marketing. Of course, the author is expected to do some of their own marketing, but the publisher is providing continued support after publication. With this model, the publisher makes money by taking a percentage of the profits from the book sales. So a publisher is not making any money off of the author directly. They're making money when the book sells to readers. Now, with self-publishing or independent publishing, the author also serves as their own publisher. That means that they're responsible for all of the things that a publishing house would traditionally take care of. Editing, book design, marketing, all falls on the author. That also means that they retain all of the control and all of the responsibility. In the case of self-published authors, they are not sharing their profits with an agent or with a publisher. Of course, a percentage of the profits does go to their self-publishing platform like KDP or Ingram Spark for the printing and distribution. But otherwise, the author maintains 100% of their royalties. Now, because independent authors are also their own publisher, and because they have to handle the editing and book design themselves, they're typically going to hire someone to help with that. It's really not feasible to expect an author to be an expert at all of the very specialized skills necessary to put together a ready-to-publish book. So generally, at the very least, an author is going to hire someone to help with editing, interior layout, and cover design. Authors can either hire individual freelancers for these, or they can turn to a company like Blue Pen, who offers everything, or at least multiple services that they're going to require. This can be a really great option for independent authors, especially first-time authors, because firstly, they don't have to find and vet individual freelancers, which is a real challenge. And also, with a lot of these companies, ourselves included, they're going to receive project management and support throughout the process. So they're going to have someone actually coordinating these services, helping them make the right decisions and make sure everything is done correctly and in the correct order. Now, there are varying levels of support with these types of companies, and that's something to make sure you're aware of when you're looking at them. With us, we actually have a team of what we call book bosses. That's their only job. They work with authors and manage their projects and coordinate everything and educate the authors and make sure everything goes smoothly and our authors are informed and making the decisions that are in the best interest of their book and career. So obviously there's a real need for this, and it's a legitimate type of service provider that exists, but unfortunately that need has also created openings for less reputable companies to step in. So this is not yet a vanity press. We'll get there in just a moment, but I don't want to glaze over this type of scam or predatory company either, because I know it is something else that a lot of folks will fall victim to. So basically what I'm talking about here is a service provider who's offering services for independent authors. They're just poor quality. Generally, this is going to be from a company that does not have roots in the industry. So that's one very, very important thing to look for when you're looking for service providers. Check out who founded them. Why were they founded? Are they just out there trying to make money and potentially take advantage of authors? With us, obviously, I'm the owner and founder. I'm a professional editor. Blue Pen grew from my freelance business, and it grew in response to a lot of our authors who were getting taken advantage of. And I wanted to provide a safe space for authors to access all of these necessary services. But if you're looking at a company that was created by a business person just to make a buck, they're probably not going to know what they're doing. And they're probably going to be hiring the lowest bidder to complete services to help pad their profit margins. When you're looking at self-publishing services companies or any company offering author services, the quality of the work is only going to be as good as the selectivity of the hiring process. I'm extremely selective. I only bring on the best of the best. I only bring on professionals I would trust with my own writing, and I can't give any higher compliment than that. But if you're just bringing on folks who are doing work as cheaply as possible, it's not going to have a good outcome. Not for authors, anyway. So that's one thing to be wary of when you are looking at these types of companies. Fortunately, once you know what you are looking for, vanity presses are a bit more cut and dry. They will try to obscure the fact that they are a vanity press. So they probably won't come right out and say, hey, we're a vanity press. That's one of the hallmarks, is they're most likely going to represent themselves as a traditional publisher. So they'll say, hey, we will publish your book. All we need you to do is kick in a little money up front. Basically, it's a pay-to-play model. Now, if you have been out there in the query trenches or out there trying to get a traditional publisher's attention, and someone tells you this, that might sound pretty appealing. You might think, wow, someone wants to publish my book. That's amazing. And all I have to do is give them $500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever they're asking for. Well, I can spare that, and then they're going to do all of these things for my book. Or on the flip side of that, maybe you are someone who's been looking at publishing independently, but then you see this company over here who's saying, we believe in your book. We are going to invest in it. You invest half, we'll invest half, and we're going to publish it for you. Well, they believe in my book. Surely they're going to do the work to promote it because they have skin in the game, right? They're invested. But that is not how these companies work. A vanity press doesn't make money when the book sells to readers. That's not where they make the bulk of their money. A vanity press is making money off of authors. They're taking that upfront cash, and then they're going out and finding the cheapest editors and designers that they can possibly find. They're having them throw together something that they can toss up on Amazon and call a published book. And then they're calling up that author and saying, hey, your book is published. You should buy X number of copies, sell them yourself, and you're going to make more money off of those than the ones that we sell for you. So on top of the money that the author potentially paid up front, now they're shelling out all this cash to get copies of their own book that are most likely going to sit in their living room in boxes for a few years. And the vanity press isn't promoting the book. They're not doing any work after the fact. They're sitting there counting their money and looking for the next person that they can take advantage of. Oh, and on top of that, when you do sell a book, they are going to take a percentage of your royalties, and they're most likely hanging on to some of your rights. So if you want to take that book down and republish it, if you want to sell your film rights, if you want to sell international rights, they're going to either take a cut of that or not let you do it. Needless to say, this is not a good situation, and it's not something that authors want to get wrapped up in. What makes this really difficult, though, is that it doesn't always look exactly like that. There are so many variations to vanity presses and the way they operate. One thing that I can always say is that if a company is telling you that you need to pay upfront and they're going to take a percentage of your royalties, that is a scam run every single time. A traditional publisher will not take money upfront, and a legitimate service provider will not take any of your royalties. The same goes with rights. If you're paying upfront, you should retain all of your rights. One other thing to look out for, in lieu of the upfront payment, some vanity presses will require you to buy so many books after the fact. So maybe you don't have to pay anything up front, but you have to purchase 500 copies of your book. That amounts to the same thing. So no matter what, if somebody is asking you for money and you're not contracting with them to perform a service, then be very wary of that situation. Off the top of my head, the only situation I can think of where that's acceptable is a contest where you pay to enter your work and then the winners receive a cash prize. So in case I didn't make it clear, just in case you found this video trying to figure out whether a vanity press is a legitimate path to publication, it's not. It's a pay-to-play model and it's a scam. I'm going to link in the description box to number 1, an article on the Pin Your Own Pages blog from Blue Pin, talking about vanity presses and going a bit deeper than we've gone here. And then I'm also going to link to a resource called Writer Beware. This is a fabulous resource. It is so helpful for the community. I highly encourage everyone to go over to Writer Beware and start by reading some of their materials about vanity presses and scams. And then whenever you are looking at working with someone in the industry, look and see if they have put up anything about that company. They will post about known vanity presses and known scams to let folks know to beware. So that's all we've got for today. I hope this has been very helpful, and if this keeps anyone from falling for a vanity press, then it has been more than worth it. If you have any questions, if there's anything our team can help with, please reach out to us at bluepinbooks.com/contact. That's it for now. I'll see y'all next time, and happy writing.